guys, Dakota here today. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about rappelling. Specifically, I'd like to talk about rappelling, and if you come down a rappel and mid-rappel you have some need to do a mid-rappel ascent, I'm going to show you an easy technique for that. So you can see today I'm set up with an ATC, a guide ATC to be more specific, and a VT prusik. You can see how I do this, set up this rappel setup with a backup. And what I'm going to show is how to set up an ascension technique, basically with the equipment that I have here. So right now I'm on a 2-stranded rappel. This technique can also be done on a single strand rappel. I'd also like to mention that this is a nice technique for several different situations. One, it can be useful in a crevasse rescue if you're helping an individual in your party, or it can be aid in a canyoneering situation with a small group if you're canyoneering and you find that your rappel is a no-go, or there's some urgent need for you to get back up the rappel to help somebody. So first, what I want to do is I've got 2 points of contact on the system, and as I'm going to be removing this VT prusik from the system, or at least transitioning it, I want to create another backup. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to tie a knot down below me. This is a catastrophe knot, so in this case I'm just going to do an overhand, and then I'm going to clip into my harness. This will ensure that if I fall, I'm not going to bottom out. Next, I'm going to make the transition from here. So what I want to do is with my VT prusik, or my val de tantress, I essentially want to create a leg loop above me. So what I'm going to do is I got to put the weight on my ATC. I'm going to create a leg loop here with a runner, just a standard length runner, in my VT prusik. There we go. I'm gonna put my foot in it. And then here, what I want to do is I want to be able to transition this ATC into guide mode, or self-locking mode. So what I want to do is when I get my leg loop ready, I'm gonna extend this VT up as high as I can reach. Just gotta loosen it up a little bit here and extend it up as high as I can. And in as few motions as I can, I'm gonna step on my leg loop, and I'm going to connect the carabiner that I have in the back, the guide loop on the ATC, into my harness. If you have a belay loop on your harness, it does make it a little bit easier. I do not have a harness with a belay loop today, and so there we are. Now I'm in locking mode. You can see that my weight is locked on the guide ATC there, and now I still have my backup, a catastrophe knot backup that I set earlier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these strands, so my brake hand strands of rope, and clip them into the carabiner that's on the VT prusik. Alright, so I'm on the ascent here. One thing I've done with the movie magic is I've switched my backup from an overhand to a more traditional leg loop auto block. The reason I did this is that I found it's much easier with a twin rope system to do that. If I were on a single rope rappel, I would likely use a clove hitch, which is also really nice and easily adjustable, but when you're dealing with two lines here, it becomes a bit of a pain. So the reason why I did that is I want the adjustability. I'm connected in here to my ATC and with my leg loop auto block, and then as I make the ascent, I want to give myself enough slack to create that 3-to-1 system and have as much extension on the up as I can. So I push that VT as high as I can, and then I have this little 3-to-1 mechanical advantage to help pull my belay device up as I progress. Okay. Then if I ever find the need where I need to switch my system back, that's also pretty easy. At that point, I'm going to take the slack out of my leg loop auto block, and then I'm still in guide mode here. So first of all, I need to come out of guide mode. So I'm going to use my handy dandy leg loop to help me do that, or a ledge if one is available. So I've pulled the ATC out of auto block mode. I've got my Sterling personal anchor system here, which is nice. I'm going to click that in, and then I'm going to slide my VT back up so it re-engages and it acts as another backup. At this point I have 3 points on the rope. I've got my VT, I've got my ATC, and I've got an auto block down here. In an effort to keep things clean and manage my rope, I'll take my sling off. And then at this point, my VT is really holding my weight, so I can pull off this last redundancy. So I take off. Now I'm to a point where things are clean again, and I could resume a rappel if I needed to. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. That keeps us motivated to continue generating content.